Section 11.2. Permutations is an ordered arrangement. Example, a class of 10 students is asked to form a line. A permutation is the number of different arrangements order they could line up. The formula for the arrangements uses the factorial symbol, which is an exclamation mark, and it means multiply. Factors are things that are multiplied. Okay, so 2 factorial means you start at 2, you work your way down to 1, and you multiply. So 2 factorial is just 2 times 1 equals 2. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. We go start at the number and go down each number until you get to 1. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which equals 24. 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which equals 120. So you start at the number, you go down a number until you reach 1. Okay, start with a number, go down until you get to 1, and multiply. Okay, evaluate 8 factorial divided by 5 factorial. Okay, so you write out 8 factorial, 8 through 1, 5 factorial, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and multiply. Okay, but to make it easier, you can divide out anything you have on top and bottom because we're multiplying. So we can divide out the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So all we're left with is 8 times 7 times 6, which is 336. Okay, now what if you have bigger numbers? There's a little trick we can use. 26 factorial over 21 factorial. Okay, 21 factorial means 21 and down. So 26 factorial, we can write 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, and then we can write 21 factorial to represent we're going 21 and down. Now, why do we stop at 21? Because that 21 and down will cancel with the 21 factorial on bottom. Okay, and so then you just multiply 26, 25, 24, 23, and 22. Okay, same thing, really big numbers. We don't want to write that out. 473 factorial over 470 factorial. So if we're going to have 470 factorial, that means 47 all the way down to 1. So on top, we can just write 473, 472, 471, 470 factorial means the 470 and down, which cancels with the 470 factorial on the bottom. And you would just multiply the numbers that didn't cross out. A permutation of choosing from n items and arranging r of them when order matters is found by using the formula P n r is n factorial over n minus r in parentheses factorial. Okay, in the book you're going to see NPR, and that's the same thing as this. This is called a permutation. And it's arranging things when order makes a difference. For example, you're choosing a president, vice president, and secretary from a selection of 15 people. Order matters that they're chosen because each person is going into a specific position: president, VP, secretary. So there's 15 people to choose from. That makes N 15. Choose 3, that makes R 3. So we're going to plug in 15 and 3. 15 factorial, 15 minus 3 factorial. We do what's inside parentheses first. 15 minus 3 is 12. So we're going to do 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 factorial represents the 12 through 1. I stopped at 12 because the bottom is 12. So that makes that cancel out the 12 factorial on top, the 12 factorial on bottom. So we just multiply 15 times 14 times 13. Okay. The notation NPR is the same thing as P parentheses NR. You're a TV executive. There are 13 TV shows and 6 time slots. How many ways to arrange these if order matters? Okay. So you're trying to arrange what comes on at 7 p.m., 7:30, and so forth. Okay, so N equals 13, the number you have to choose from. R equals 6, the 6 spots to fill. So we're doing a permutation of 13, choose 6. So 13 factorial goes on top. 13 minus 6 goes in the parentheses. Do inside the parentheses. 13 minus 6 is 7. So 13 times 12 times 11, 10, 9, 8. We're going to stop at 7 factorial, which means 7 through 1. So we can divide it out with the 7 through 1 on bottom. You can write it out. This just saves you some time. So the 7's cross out. That just leaves us 13 through 8 to multiply. Okay. Arrangements using all letters. The number of ways to arrange the word set. There's 6 ways if you write it out. There's 3 letters, so it's 3 factorial. Okay. Basically, there's 3 letters that you can put first. Well, once you've put that first letter, there's only 2 left that can be second. Well, once you've set both first 2 letters, there's only 1 left to be the last one. Sorry. What if there are repeat letters like A, N, A? Swapping the 2 A's does not do anything. Okay, so formula when you have duplicates, repeats. N equals the number of total items. P equals how many are identical of one letter. Q is how many identical of the next letter. And you keep going with all the repeats. Okay, so you put how many total letters on top, factorial, and then you do a factorial for each of the other repeats. Okay, example, Mississippi has 8 letters, 4 I's, 2 P's, and 4 S's. So we put 4 factorial on bottom for the 4 I's, 4 factorial on bottom for the 4 S's, 2 factorial on bottom for the 2 P's, and 11 factorial on top for the 11 letters. Okay. All right, now let's see what we can cancel. So we can do 4 through 1. Okay, so now let's multiply and see what we get on top. So we're going to do 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 on top, okay, which is 1,663,200. Okay, so what's in yellow canceled out. So what do we have on bottom? 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 1, okay, which is 48. Okay, then we divide, and we get 34,650. Okay, Tennessee is the same. It has some repeats. There's 9 letters, so 9 factorial goes on bottom. There's 2 n's, so we have 2 times 1 on bottom. There's 4 e's, so we do a 4, 3, 2, 1 for that. There's 2 s's, so we do 2 times 1 for that. Okay. Now, what can we cancel here? Okay. Now, the biggest number on bottom is 4 through 1. So let's do 4 through 1 cancel. Okay, so what do we have on top? 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5. So we have we have 15120 on top. What do we have on bottom? 2 times 1 times 2 times 1 would be 4. 15120 divided by 4 is 3780. There are 7 performers who will present their act. How many ways can this be done? Okay, well, that's 7 factorial because we're arranging all 7 of them. We're not just picking some. Okay, and that is the end of that lesson.